motion graphics is basically, it started out as either a combination of design and animation. It wasn't necessarily character animation, and it wasn't necessarily effects animation like fire in a movie or an explosion or a car blowing up or anything like that. It was more of a stylized approach to solution to a problem. So for example, if a client came to you and said, hey, I need a commercial and I need to somehow show the passion of this car and how it touches the life of people, right? So then you'd bring in motion graphics artists and try to figure out like what the typography says about the car, what the effects, maybe the car shoots out lights and then the lights connect with people and then it lights them up. It literally lights them up and then everybody rides the car. So it's sort of a hybrid of visual effects and typography and design put into motion. And it's usually for TV commercials, web, maybe like some banners or things like that. But it's a little bit of a different animal than visual effects because most people in motion graphics have a design background and love and geekiness about typography, but also they're sort of generalists. So they'll know a little bit about how to make water, they'll know a little bit about how to make fire, a little bit about how to animate, dinosaur or something. Whereas people in visual effects, they just, you go to the guy that animates claws, and all he does is animate claws, and he's really good at animating claws, but that's it. He doesn't know about typography or anything else, and probably loves Comic Sans or something. That's a geek joke. But
I get it.
okay, good. But these guys, the visual effects guys, they're extremely good. They're really, really good, and they're really, really good about one certain part of the production pipeline. And the other difference between motion graphics and visual effects is that motion graphics projects tend to be a lot shorter, maybe a month or 2, 3 months at the most if they're really involved and require a lot of work. Some of the higher end computer-generated images in commercials might require a lot, and actually a fusion of both motion graphics and visual effects. But the visual effects projects, those are, they take years. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. It takes a long time. You can have a guy working on the shield for the Captain America for years, and all he's doing is he's just doing the shield. And iterations and iterations and iterations. So I'd say like that's the biggest difference. Yeah, the main difference is that the motion graphics is grounded on design and it has a design sensibility. And visual effects also has a design, but it's not graphic design. It's a different type of, if you're doing a futuristic movie or you're doing like I said, like explosions, well, you have to make sure the explosions are real. But that takes some design as well. But it's a different type of aesthetic. The other difference is, the other part where they might cross over is the, when you're doing the high-end projects together, like that's another, and again, like if you're doing a high-end commercial, they both come together. If you're doing a movie, like let's say like Iron Man or Prometheus, and you see the screens and they light up with data, like that's all graphic design. And it's a whole world unto its own, because when you're designing that kind of stuff, it's all about how it would work in the real world and how it has to make some sort of sense. And that's what's really cool about graphic design and motion graphics, is that a lot of times these questions are asked like okay, if we're going to design the imagery in the helmet, inside the helmet of Tony Stark, we're not just going to show gibberish. Like, things have to make sense. Like, he has to have an altitude meter, and he's got to have a temperature gauge. You know what I mean? So there's a thought process behind it. And then, the design part of it. So that would be sort of the difference and convergence.